Hello, everybody. Welcome to Meditation Transmission. We are now in the 10th week of doing our meditation transmissions together. So excuse me, I appreciate you guys coming along and joining in the journey. Today for the 10th meditation, what I'd like to do is continue along the path of doing different breath techniques until we can achieve a state of relaxation to be able to get into a meditative state. So what we're going to do is start out with something that's a little bit more simple. So in the beginning we do a simple breath exercise, and then we do our meditation, and then we end with a slightly more difficult breath exercise. Up until this point, we've done belly breathing, we've done alternate nostril breathing, we've done different kinds of focused breathing, all of which, if practiced on a daily basis, can be very effective, and each type of breath exercise has its own benefits, but just taking time out of your day to be able to sit down and consciously breathe will have a tremendous effect on your immune system, on your parasympathetic system, which handles our ability to deal with stress, and also helps us kind of get away and escape. So when we're in tune with our breath, when we're in tune with what's happening with our bodies, it takes us away from what's going on outside, which right now is very chaotic still and difficult to deal with for a lot of people. So things like yoga and meditation and breathing, also known as pranayama, which is a practice of breath, is a really great and effective way to escape the outside world, tune into the inside world, and, take a little mini vacation, and all the while gain some true benefits from that little getaway. So if you are new to meditating, or if you're new to breath exercises, rest assured that this is all very simple, and I will guide you through it, so you're not going to be alone in this experience. We are going to start out with some visualization, and you might hear me say things like, using your third eye or using your mind's eye. What I mean when I say that is that we're not looking with our eyes, because our eyes are going to be closed. So we're looking with the eyes that's turned inwards, okay? So we're looking at our inner landscape, we're looking at our bodies, but not using our eyes. We're using our brains, we're using our heart, and we're assessing things that are going on. With that being said, if there's any questions that you have with regards to meditation or breathing, I'm happy to answer them for you. Please just put them in the comments while we're doing this little intro until people kind of trickle in. So if you are not familiar with meditation or with my experience with meditation, I used to teach yoga for many years, in which case I also taught breathing. I also taught different, guided visuals for meditation. So different types of experiences. I am certified in various areas of these arts. And I put it aside for a few years, but once all the stuff with COVID and the quarantine kind of went into place, I decided that it was time to share these gifts, and I don't really ask for anything in return. I know we're all in a difficult place financially because most of us are not working, myself included. So if you are able to contribute, it's not required, but it is greatly welcomed, and any amount is greatly appreciated. So I have my Venmo pinned on the comments down there. Now, let's see, what else can I say? So with regards to my background, I come from a yoga background, and it's Tantric Hatha Yoga, and I am initiated in the Sri Vidya lineage of Tantric yoga, and this was a tradition that was passed down from the Himalayan masters. So all the way from the top down to the bottom. And many years later, from the Himalayas, the knowledge made its way down to the Americas. In which case, here I am. So my teachers' teachers have been teaching these techniques for millennia. Ayurveda yoga has been around a very long time, and is now finally getting the credit it deserves. And Western medicine is finally catching up and seeing the true benefits of meditation, of eating right, of doing things that don't require medicine. So there are lots of ways to address things that you're dealing with without medications. Let's see. So David just asked, do you know if there are breath techniques that can help with asthma? So asthma is a little bit tricky. Obviously, you don't want to do anything that's going to trigger the asthma. But yes, there are various breath techniques that you can do that will allow you to calm yourself in the event of an asthma attack. There are also techniques that allow you to be able to breathe more expansively without triggering your asthmatic attacks. So if there is somebody specific, David, that you, if you yourself or if someone you know does experience asthma and would like to know more, I'm happy to talk with them directly and show them some of what I know. But the key with asthma is that you don't want to overstimulate the heart. So it's when you are in flight or flight mode, or if you get stressed, or you get into a fearful situation, that the asthma kicks in. So a lot of the breath techniques that we do can be tailored. So like what we do is to relax. So we're trying to calm, which is wonderful for asthmatics. There are also breath techniques that are very energizing that you can do to invite more energy into your body, because maybe you're going to do a yoga practice, or you're going to do something that's very physical, or you just woke up and you want to get ready for your day. So in the tradition, depending on when you do your practices, there's different things that you can do to tailor for that time. So Ayurveda, the science of life that is used in conjunction with yoga and meditation and all those other things, shows us that each of us have a mind-body type, and each season is a different type. Each meal is a different type. So you can, they call it the science of life because it can be tailored very specifically to the individual. So in the morning, this person does this, this, and this, and it's this time of year, so they do this, this, and this. And it's going to constantly change because it's in tune with nature. If you want to learn more about Ayurveda, I'm happy to discuss that with you as well. Maybe I can do a separate live kind of Q&A about yoga and meditation and Ayurveda at a different time, so that if there is more information to be gained, I'm happy to go more in depth into that. Before we begin, are there any last minute questions? So for those of you who are new that are just tuning in, this is meditation transmission. It's a meditation offer. Thank you, David. Thank you for coming. It's a meditation offering that I have been giving via IG Live for the past 10 weeks. This is our 10th week doing this. And we've been meeting every Tuesday and just sitting together, breathing together, and just really playing with our internal landscape and seeing what happens. So if you're new to meditation, this is a really light, easy way to get to experience it for yourself. The meditation that we do and the video that I have here is a little bit longer than what a normal meditation might be. A lot of traditions say that you really don't need more than 20 minutes of meditation. There's other traditions that say do as much as you can, as often as you can. So the rules vary based on tradition. I'm personally of the thought that if you practice even a few minutes a day, then you've accomplished the goal. So if you let yourself take out a few minutes to just sit and be quiet, and you don't even have to close your eyes necessarily, but just, turn off your phone, turn off the TV, let go of any of your distractions, and just sit and allow yourself to just do nothing. That in itself can be really healing. We're designed, especially in America, to go, go, go all the time. Even while we're in quarantine, we are being told that we're not doing enough, which is, very indicative of our cultural condition. But the truth is, you do too much. And so it's important to take pause every so often. And hi, Marietta, welcome. So it's important to take pause. And for different people, it looks different. Meditation is one way that we take pause. Taking a walk in nature is another way of pause. A deep conversation with someone could be a moment of pause. I find my moment of pause when I wash dishes. I know it's weird, but I just zone out, and it's a very meditative experience for me, which works in my favor because no one wants to do dishes, so I always volunteer because I don't mind. Let's see what else. So there's various ways in which we can take pause in our lives, and now more so than ever it's important, and we are fortunate that we have the time to be able to take pause. So be grateful for that. Who knows how long this is going to last, right? And things will be very different when we go back to the normal world, but it'll still be important even then to take pause. So with that being said, let's get started. For those of you who are new that joined, this is Meditation Transmission, where we sit together every Tuesday at noon, and we meditate, we breathe, and I will guide you through this. The meditation itself is about 20 minutes, but this video will be up in the live feed for 24 hours, and then I'm going to put it on my YouTube page. It's Rose Nose Recommends, where you can see all the other meditations that we've done thus far. So this is the 10th edition of Meditation Transmission. So thank you all for joining in on this journey. All right, before we get started, please make sure that you have a comfortable seated position. So for some of us, sitting on the floor with maybe a cushion or something like a yoga mat or something underneath us is good. For some of us, we need to sit in a chair. That's totally fine. The only thing I ask is that you don't lay down. You don't want to fall asleep. Falling asleep is not the same as meditating. Again, for those of us who are newer to meditation, what we accomplish in meditation is actually deeper than REM sleep. And REM sleep is the deepest and the kind of the optimal place that you'd like to go in a rest mode. But with meditation, we go even deeper than REM. So it's if you can access that place, then magical things can happen. You can heal yourself. You can see things. You can heal past trauma. You can deal with body stuff. Deal with mental stuff. So this area of play just beneath the surface is rich with information. All right, you guys, so let's find our seated position. Now, I'm seated on the floor, and I'm seated in a cross-legged position. For some people, that's not comfortable. So sit, however, is fine for you. The only thing I ask is that you keep your spine nice and tall. And what I like to do is, and this is actually perfect because it aligns well, I'd like for you to visualize a line that goes all the way from the crown of the head, so the hard part of the head, all the way through the spine, anchoring you down to the center of the earth. So you're creating this tension that lifts you up all the way as you are being drawn down. So it creates this taut tension that allows you to sit nice and tall. Now, throughout the meditation, you may notice that you kind of slack, you relax. It's okay, don't be judgmental about it, but if you catch yourself, try again to achieve this nice long line. That way we can have a nice flow of energy moving through us as we meditate. And the hope is that we receive information, store it, and whatever we don't need goes down to the center of the earth. We bury it in the center of the earth. So that's some advanced stuff. I'll address that later when we're actually doing the meditation. The other thing I did want to mention before we begin is that I do have dogs, and my dogs, as much as I love them, do bark. They don't bark very often, but if someone's delivering a package or if somebody walks by the apartment and they're being snoopy, they're gonna bark. So I apologize if you do hear my dogs. It's a great exercise in meditation when you have those kinds of distractions, because our minds are already really busy. There's going to be sounds outside. There's going to be people within your house that are moving around. If you're by yourself, I guess in that way you're lucky, but then, your brain's busy. So you're always going to have something that's going to take you away from the state of meditation. So our practice is to be able to be okay with everything that's around us, everything that's inside of us, and still be able to maintain our calm center. Okay? And the only way we can really do this is if we have a center that we recognize. Okay? So while we're meditating, I'm going to keep reminding you to come back to your center. And for some of us who are advanced in meditation, you might have a mantra that was given to you by your guru. You're welcome to use that as your center. For those of us who are newer to meditation, who haven't been initiated into a specific tradition, the center can just be the breath, which is free. You don't have to take a class to learn about it. None of that. So the breath is always there. It's a constant. It's something that you can rely on. So the breath is always there. And this can be your focal point. So if you find yourself drifting, if you hear something, or if a thought emerges or a feeling emerges, you can always come back to the breath center and remember that that constant will always be there when you get led astray. All right, you guys. So let's find a comfortable seated position. And for some of us, cross-legged, for some of us, wide-legged, whatever works for you. If you are sitting in a chair, all that I do is ask that you uncross your legs so that your feet are flat on the floor. That is going to be your foundation. So making that connection with the floor is really important to be able to maintain a nice tall spine. All right. So let's loosen up a little bit. So maybe do a couple shoulder rolls, do them clockwise initially, and then counterclockwise a few times. Let's even do a couple head rolls. So clockwise, counterwise. And while you do the head rolls, see if you can keep your shoulders in place. And you might hear some crackling, maybe some fluid. That's totally normal. A lot of us are tense. A lot of us, when we're on our phones, tend to be in a downward position, which compromises our necks. So it's important to kind of loosen up these muscles. Now, grab your right hand. It might look opposite on the screen for you, but grab your right hand. Make sure that your opposite shoulder, your left shoulder, stays in place. And just very gently draw the head towards your right side. Feel a nice little stretch on the left side. Okay, let's switch. So grab the head and make sure that your right shoulder stays in place, and draw the head towards the left shoulder. And you don't want to yank too hard here, just enough to feel a nice little stretch. Okay, now come back to center. All right, starting to feel a little bit loose. So now we are gearing up for the meditation. Please make sure that your shoulders stay nice and soft. If you find yourself kind of scrunching like this, relax the shoulders away from the ears. Hug your elbows in nice and close. And place your hands on your thighs. For some of us, intuitively, we might have our hands palms up. Some of us might have our hands palms down. Just notice. For those of us who keep our hands naturally palms down, this is because we feel pretty good. We're not asking for anything. We feel grounded. For those of us who naturally leave the palms up, we are asking to receive. We are asking for healing, whatever the case is. So just notice which lot you are, and every day it might be different. So draw your elbows in nice and close, shoulders are soft. And now let's all please close our eyes and just become aware of the sound of your breath. Noticing the length, the depth of the breath, where the inhale comes from, where the exhale goes. Also notice if when you breathe, you have a tendency to breathe through your nose versus your mouth or vice versa. So without any judgments, just become aware of the natural state of breath. And while you're doing this, I will sing a mantra that was given to me by my teacher, who was given to them by their teacher, and so forth. This is it's an invocation dedicated to Ganesha. And for those of you who are familiar with Ganesha, he is the elephant-headed god in the Hindu and Tantra traditions. And Ganesha sits at the base of the spine near the first chakra, so he is the gatekeeper. And with this invocation, we ask that Ganesha opens the gate so that we can experience that which needs to be experienced. So continue to listen to the sound of your breath. Ganesha Graha Nakshatra Yogini Rashi Rupanim Devim Mantra Maim Naumi Matrika Pita Rupanim Ganesha Graha Nakshatra Yogini Rashi Rupanim Devim Mantra Maim Naumi Matrika Pita Rupanim Ganesha Graha Nakshatra Yogini Rashi Rupanim Devim Mantra Maim Naumi Matrika Pita Rupanim. Continue to listen to the natural flow of your breath without trying to change it or judge it, just observe. And now please take a moment to become aware using the mind's eye, using your imagination, mapping the space in which you are situated. Become aware of the four corners and the four walls in which you are encompassed. And within the four walls, map out the things that are around you, noticing any chairs, your computer, your phone, the sofa. Become aware of the flooring. Also notice if there are any sounds within this space. Take a moment to gaze upon yourself with loving and kind eyes, and just noting what you observe. Again, without any judgment, without any need to change a thing. Just observe. Notice how your hair is, what you're wearing. Notice how you're seated, what you're seated on. Now take a moment to give yourself thanks for having the wisdom, the courage, and the time to be here today. And now please become aware of that which is outside of your four walls. So noticing the sounds, leaves rustling, people walking around, the sound of cars, dogs barking. And once you have familiarized yourself with your surroundings, we slowly begin to peel the onion, come back into your space, four walls, four corners. Peel another layer, come back to yourself. Peeling another layer still, come to the body. And just take a moment using your mind's eye to notice if there are any places of holding, of discomfort, of tension or pain. So just scanning the body without judgments, just notice. And if you happen to come across such a place, keep your attention on it and continue to breathe. With each inhale, we invite in energy to enliven this space. With each exhale, we invite the tension, the stagnation, the pain to release. So with that place in mind, inhaling and exhaling, creating a cycle of birth, creating a cycle of death. So inhaling in life energy, prana, exhaling the old. And now please become aware of your face. Notice if there's any holding in the jaw. So what I'd like to do is sometimes keep a small space between my upper and bottom teeth, with my lips slightly open so that the jaw can relax, allowing the neck, the shoulders and the arms and the hands to also relax. Now please place one hand over the heart and one hand over your navel. Draw the elbows in so the shoulders can stay comfortable. On your next breath, let your inhale be deep into the belly, filling the palm of your hand and lifting up, lifting the chest. On your exhale, chest draws in, belly draws in towards the center of the spine. Inhaling, belly expands, filling the palm of your hand. Chest rises. Exhale, draw the navel in towards your spine. So we're belly breathing, inhaling deep into the belly, expanding. Exhaling, drawing the navel in. And when you do this, let your exhale be twice as long as the inhale. So inhaling, expanding, exhaling twice as long, relaxing and releasing. Inhaling and exhaling, drawing the navel in towards the spine. Continue doing this on your own time. One thing my teacher says about belly breathing that I love is that in our culture, we are always taught to draw our bellies in because we want to have tight stomachs, right? So letting our belly fully expand is very unfashionable. But in this case, you can give yourself the permission to let it all hang out. So inhaling, belly expands like a giant Buddha belly. Exhaling, navel draws in towards the spine. Let's do 2 more of these together. Inhaling and exhaling. 1 more. And exhaling. And now please release the hands back to the thighs, palms up or down. If you have a hand mudra that you usually like to use, feel free to use them. Draw your elbows in nice and close, shoulders are soft, spine is nice and tall, crown of the head reaching up towards the sky, all the while being anchored through the root of the spine. Chin remains parallel to the floor. And as we drift into our meditation, you may notice that feelings, thoughts, memories, sounds, all these things outside of ourselves will begin to distract you. And I will gently remind you every so often that if this comes up, give it just a few moments of attention. But before you can go too far down the rabbit hole, bring your attention back to your breath center. And for those of you with your mantra, you may use your mantras as your center. So again, if you find yourselves being carried away on a trail of memories and emotions, give it that moment, make a note, and then come back to the sound of the breath. Lastly, as we sit here quietly, if an urge arises to change your position, absolutely, please change your positioning. Rather than creating the tension of holding and feeling that you cannot move, just move the leg, move the arm, whatever it is you need to do, but always come back to the center, come back to the breath. And now slowly begin to release the need to do a single thing at all. Sitting here in complete quiet, no agendas, no appointments, just sitting. yourself getting distracted, getting restless, come back to the breath, noticing the length and the depth of the breath. And once you've refamiliarized yourself with your breath, release the need to do anything. exhale the length and the depth of the breath. Also notice how the breath may be different from when you first sat down. Using the mind's eye, become aware of the body, noticing if there are any places of holding, of discomfort and tension, of pain. It is my sincere hope that the body has relaxed and you come across no such place. Now please place one hand, palm over your heart, the other one over the belly. Draw the elbows in, shoulders nice and soft. Just for a moment, feel the warmth and the energy radiating from your hands. And now back to our belly breathing, but in reverse from when we first started. Gonna let our inhales be twice as long as our exhales. So inhaling, deeply filling the belly. Exhaling, navel draws in towards the center of the spine. Inhaling, chest expands, belly expands, filling the palm of your hand. Exhaling. So inhaling, let's say like 6 counts, and then exhaling for 3. Inhaling 6 counts, chest rises, belly expands. Exhaling, navel draws in. Continue to do this on your own time. Inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhaling 1, 2, 3. Inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhaling 3. Let's do 3 more, please. Inhaling, pause, exhale. 2 more, inhale, pause, exhale, draw the navel in. Last one, inhale, pause, exhale. And now please release the hands, release the belly breath. Once again, observing the body, noticing the breath. Please take a moment to reacquaint yourself with your surroundings, becoming aware of the 4 corners and 4 walls in which you are seated. Noticing any chairs, furniture. Now please become aware of the surroundings outside of the 4 corners. Becoming aware of any sounds. Becoming aware of trees, of people talking, dogs barking, sound of cars. Please come back to your four corners. Come back to yourself. Now please take a moment to gaze upon yourself. And with loving and kind eyes, notice what you observe. And if you would feel so inclined, please bring your hands together at the heart in prayer position, resting the thumbs on the chest. Slowly draw the chin towards your hands, bowing to yourselves, thanking yourselves for having the wisdom, the patience, and the courage to sit here today. And I bow to you. Thank you so much for joining me. Please bring your palms together, rubbing the hands to create some heat. And once you have enough heat, place the palms over the eyes and feel the heat from your palms radiating deep behind the eye sockets. And when you're ready, gently open the eyes and the palms of the hand and let your hands melt away from the face, taking in the room. Welcome back. Thank you all, excuse me. Thank you all, and welcome to those of you who came in a little bit late. I appreciate you joining me week after week since quarantine began to sit here in meditation. If there are any questions, if there are any suggestions, please send me a direct message. Otherwise, may you be able to continue to take this bliss and joy into the rest of your day and into the rest of your week. I will be uploading this video to Rosenose Recommends YouTube, and it will also be in the live IG feed for the rest of the day as well. I was inspired earlier, so later tonight I will be doing a Q&A about yoga meditation, where you guys can ask me direct questions, and maybe I'll have a guest or two join with me as well. But yeah, thank you so much for coming by my channel. I appreciate it. And my Venmo is down there if you feel inclined to contribute. Anything you can contribute is greatly appreciated, though it's not required. And that concludes our Tuesday. Look at this beautiful blue candle. Thank you so much, Utaro. Thank you, Marietta. Thank you to everybody for joining in. I will see you guys next time. Stick around. It'll be up on the live feed if you want to revisit. But until then, bye.